a ton, right? That kind of thing. But the other big thing here is that Martin Jones' identity is Amber. And so ultimately, that's what things get a little crazy is because in the moment, it's kind of, okay, she more or less kind of figured it out, but nonetheless, right, there's the two big things that we kind of need to discuss going into this little tidbit here, going into this story. So what ends up happening here is he's basically met by the arrival of a character named Science Dog. Now this one off the bat seems ridiculous because Science Dog is kind of a character that Mark reads, right? So like you know right off the bat, Science Dog isn't real. And that's why like the fight immediately breaks out between the two of them because he refuses to believe that Science Dog is an actual person, right? That it's an actual character. That somebody somewhere is more or less messing with his mind. Now, one of the things to understand here is under normal circumstances, Mark wouldn't react this way. But coming off the heels of everything that happened with his dad, he's kind of on edge, right? So like he immediately freaks out and goes after Science Dog, and then of course things more or less calm down, and then Science Dog reveals that he's not actually Science Dog, right? That instead he's an alien called a Fracture. Now they put on the guise of the Science Dog because it seemed like it would make the most sense to approach Mark and be able to talk to him. But in effect, the idea is like, he essentially right? She basically help us save our life. And the leader of our planet has requested your presence on our world, right? So it takes something like 2 weeks or some other amount of time to get in. But when Mark arrives, the Raptors are just going like these black bubble right? And it's kind of wild. But the idea is that like, again, like the leader of our world, and as soon as Mark gets to the throne room, his dad is staying. Omni-Man is essentially on this world, right? And that's kind of the big question is, where has Omni-Man been on this? Right? Like, what happened here? And why is Omni-Man on this world? So, the way this explanation goes down is pretty cool. Because initially the thought was really happy that we ultimately go. Instead of the breaks, right? Which is a pretty cool cutting but missing down low. Turns into we're good. That's inside. Good speed on the base pass. Cool explanation from Omni-Man. He's saying that like he was a surprised if the skipper would saw some type of hit and run or run and hit. Then he really fulfilled the purpose of when he was a host, right? That for the most part they were all about extending their empire. That's all they really had. But when he was off Earth, and particularly when he had Sun, that his perspective of the world being changed. That Earth began to change. And so ultimately, when the chips came down, and the chance came down for him to Mark, he couldn't do it. Something what Mark said, like, no matter what happens here, I'm going to so that Mark cared so much about his father, and when you go to Omni-Man, how much he actually cared about his son, and could have that. And so ultimately, it's one of these things where you kind of feel where Mark tells him, like, come back home, place him off, she's in the route, and only the things like, I can't go back. Even if I wanted to, there's no way to command me or to accept me now, knowing what I've done. Like that was possible. So, but there's no way to cut out that. You're not going to let some world conqueror back into their ranks go wrong because it's not possible. That's not going to happen. And so ultimately, he says it's kind of on this world that he transitions to, that it's not the fact that he abandoned his post. There's recognized that and one of the big concerns we have here is that when we settle on this world, the reason why he's a leader is because they determine who the leader is going to be based on the oldest leader of their society. But these guys have been for like 9 months at a time. See if they can cash in. But because Omni-Man's been around for thousands of years, I'm like, okay, cool, you can be our leader. Just right off the bat. It is kind of implied that you have to do a few things to earn your trust to save the world from different parts and things like that, right? It wasn't just, how old are you? Like, almost 2,000 years old. You're our leader. Right? It is just a point inside of the that you know sort of happen. But he's also basically formed a family. Right? He's got a wife, which is a weird alien thing. Because he's a giant grasshopper. He's married to a praying mantis. And then he's got a son, right? Now, the caveat about his son is that he basically has purple skin. And this is a big concern that Omni-Man has, is that the Fortunite basically stand against anybody they consider to be quote-unquote genetically inferior, right? And so if Fortunite has a child with somebody else that's not considered to be a looking person, then the person might kill him. Like, don't kill that kid. And under normal circumstances, Omni-Man never would have done this in the first place. Or if he did, it wasn't part of the process of infiltrating the world, and he wouldn't have cared if this kid was killed. Like, all that would have mattered was the success of the mission. But ultimately, he just kind of like, no, right? Like, I need my son to survive, right? Like, I have like, I cannot let the rest of my sister and my kid. So, it's only a matter of time before they get me, and I need you to help me get my son to safety, right? And the big problem with this is that what the idea is have Mark essentially be here and help his father defend this world against the Ghost Mites when they arrive. The Ghost Mites are already here. Now, there's only a few, right? But this is really kind of Robert Kirkman speaking to the power of this race. But there's like 3 of us here, and that's really it. Like, that's really all here. When the Ghost War kicks off, that's when things get crazy. And let me tell you something, man. That's downstairs and outside. It's nothing in comparison to Freddie Mercury, right? yes, Paul Max and Mercury, some call him Freddie Mercury, but his lightning interference is the power of Flash, right? Like Freddie's just, he's got a whole different level of power. Now, when this all kicks off, immediately, Omni-Man tells Mark, get my family to safety. There's a couple reasons why he does this. The first is because of the fact that one, Mark is not experienced facing off against the Ghost Knight. All he knows is facing off against his dad. Two, it's implied that his dad is more or less on the same level as the other Ghost Knight. So if Mark couldn't top his dad, Mark has a top against 2 3. Right? I mean, he was just decimated so fast. He wouldn't even contest. And two, Mark's the other, he's the second most powerful person on this world outside of Omni, right? So he's the most capable person of being able to keep his family safe and get them to what are called the cage, right? The cage are kind of this hidden location that's out there somewhere. And this is the segment where I kind of talk about how it's more or less implied and stated that Omni-Man was not arbitrarily chosen, that he had performed various deeds to more or less keep this world safe. The problem here is that Mark was followed by a ghost mind by the name of Lucan. Now, Lucan's a cool character. You don't get to see a whole lot of him here, but like later on, it's cool. I like it, man. Like, I like this stuff. There's one of these things where he showed up and he's like, okay, this kid's gotta go, right? That's kind of the funny thing about Mark is Mark should be passed off as a ghost monk because there's no real differentiation between the appearance of Mark and the appearance of a standard ghost monk. And unless they scan his DNA, they never really know that he is Mark and have the kind of Omni-Man come to fruition, right? So like the bond between himself and Mark is so strong and say one devil and Mark decides with Omni-Man and say, okay, fine, I won't help you conquer Earth at the end of the fight between the two of them. Then like it would have, like the Earth would have been prepared and that would have been it. And maybe there would have been some questions asked like, how did I saw your kid? Like if you didn't do anything to justify it or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it just kind of, turned a blind eye and more or less that seems to kind of be what was happening. At this instant, with Omni-Man's new son, who's basically Omni-Kid, and they more or less named the adopts, that doesn't happen. He's got people skin. Like, how do you avoid it? So ultimately, Mark is able to get the upper hand on Lucan for a moment, like kind of sucker punch him, and then just like take off, right? And that's kind of like, okay, cool. Like Lucan kind of calms himself down for a second, and he's like, all right, let's get to this kid. Ultimately, it's super fast, right? And that's one of the big things. Again, like, guys are no joke, man. Like, Ghost Knight's on a whole different level from anything that Mark used to fighting outside of his dad. Lucan catches up, Omni-Man saves that, right? And snaps like literally crashes into this guy, and then just goes to pummel. Now, one of the things that happens, you don't really see exactly what takes place. All you see is Omni-Man coming back with blood all over. Right? So presumably, he's either beaten Lucan to death or either pacifisted him to the point where Lucan can't live in. Right? He more or less had a picture. And that's not what he said. I mean, it's not my blood. And we're like, so what happened to the ghost fight? He's like, yeah, right? And that's it. He's lucky for dead by the cave, and that's right? So ultimately, when they end up getting back to the city, which seemingly Omni-Man had to abandon in order to make sure that the family was keeping the safety, once he realized that Lucan was falling apart, once he gets back here, a huge portion of destruction are restored, right? The city's fully trashed, and a huge number of these guys are all killed. And that's not the key thing, right? Under any other circumstance, Omni-Man would have been like, well, I mean, I guess it's just fucking partial to the nature of the thing. And that's it. Like, never seen a great speaking about. But Omni-Man's trying to restore himself. He's trying to become a good guy, right? He's trying to be a hero. There's one thing he said. He says, I should not do this with my head. I've had blood on my hands before, far more than this, and yet I care. I am in grace. Right? Now, the thing about this is, when you think about the Omni-Man, this is kind of the aspect of the character that's easy to overlook. Omni-Man is never going to feel his emotions in his capacity. When you think about that social, right? That like people in the world around you are bobbles to you because your own individual goals, and you don't really have any emotional attachment to those people, then suddenly when you start developing emotional attachment to people, you don't have anything, right? It's like, right? Like it's like going to your pants. But emotions are far stronger than seeing the hope, right? And so because of that, Omni-Man doesn't really know how to process this feeling of grief. And so he lashes out. And in this instance, he lashes out at Mark. And actually started like goes to start pummeling Mark. But then suddenly the two Ghost Minds basically destroy everything. They essentially appear. And that's when Omni-Man started killing. And that's not the crazy thing, right? Is that under normal circumstances when these Ghost Minds are fighting and seem to be a major focal point of their characters, they fight clean, right? They don't let their emotions get to them up. They stay focused on the target hand. Like they are really psyched, right? It's precision combat skill. And it's cool to see, right? The problem with this is that Omni-Man is fighting full of emotion. And so ultimately, Mark kind of jumps in to do what he can. And Mark's being wildly overwhelmed. flight steps, right? Just being wildly overwhelmed. Omni-Man more or less steps in and then saves Ben, right? Targets both of these guys, smashes their heads together, and that's more or less the end of Ben, right? And then from there, it's like, okay, you know, like, they're going to be on their way back, right? So, like, calm down, like, you need to realize you get both, right? Like, up to this point in your life, as a superhero, like, you're young, you're a teenager, you're full of hormones and emotions, that's fine, but you need to get out of your control, right? Like, facing off against these guys, you need to be precise, you need to be focused, you need to make sure that you are essentially at peace with yourself. It's going to be the only way you come out on top. These guys have been fighting for thousands of years, right? It's not like they've been fighting for a few years or so. They're not fresh off the assembly line, right? They've been doing this for a long, long time, and they have their skills honed down to a get as close to that level as you possibly can. Despite the fact that it's not a tried and true teaching lesson in the sense of, you know, Omni-Man sitting down with Mark and like, hey, here's a couple of style buddies that I know who are going to help you win the skills. It's about as real of a lesson as Mark is ever going to get. And so ultimately, you end up having like Mark who's horribly overwhelmed. Like Omni-Man gets the upper hand on his, and then Mark starts calling out for help. And literally just like crushes this guy, right? And he's like, die for this. And just kill this guy. Literally headbutts to death. He headbutts him so hard, his eye pops out of his head. It's kind of nuts, right? But Mark is just absolutely decimated. Now at that point, Omni-Man goes to kind of help Mark into his wounds, and then here comes Ruben out of nowhere, right? Like Springer goes 6 feet 3 inches, 220 pounds, a former first-round pick back in 2011. Swing and a this is what we're talking about. And yeah, none of these drugs come out have anything on track. That's the craziness about it, man. But the guy basically incapacitates Omni-Man, knocks him out, and leaves Mark to death. It's hard to stop Mark. It's hard to know him, right? That's the whole thing. Right? And so ultimately, the Ghost might end up, you know, a whole other group of Ghost might show up. They end up rounding up, like, they kind of tend to Mark.
Half a switch hitter, it can be challenging for guys at the big league level to maintain a good swing from both sides of the plate. Clearly, he's got more power from the left side, but in 2022, the right side was respectable as well.
The fact that he was able to do some damage and he fought with a lot of hurt, I think really respectable. Not enough to like, hey,
He says, I don't care about draft rounds. Take a seat.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, it's that
Outfield playing
you know, so
very deep, not
we're
wanting
opting
anything over their heads.
This is smart. Read my books, like my books. Make sure you read those. And so that's not the whole thing.
Spot in today's lineup. He's usually in right field, but today he's getting the DH treatment. Check swing went around. The count is 0-2.
Well, nice day off for him, not having to jog out to the outfield. He gets to be in the DH spot. I'm curious to see how he keeps himself in a rhythm. Not playing defense.
Yeah, the caveat to this is that this was more or less being assigned this role.
And he got him to chase.
If he doesn't follow through with it, don't play. Right? That's kind of the crazy thing about it. And the other hand, right? I mean, the amount of time it will take for him to become strong enough to stop any of this is like far longer than the amount of time it would take for him to like comfort him, like compare or for and so that's kind of the finish. Mark gets back to Nolan's, you know, his grasp on the one. You know,
Got close to the immaculate inning, and he just couldn't find the zone.
So Mark kind of helps with the build and all that kind of stuff. And then essentially ends up kind of kicking his brother back to the wolf. You know, that's the first. It's another reason to kind of helping experience understanding like now something to know, Mark did not initially want to do this. He did not initially want to like kick his kid back to Earth. And you know, now that he's doing it, it's kind of a cool opportunity. But the reality is that because the lifespan of these fractions is so short, his mom doesn't have it. She's not long for this. She basically almost done it already. And the question is, what's going to happen when I'm there? Right? I mean, those mics are going to try to come back to the and so at the end of the day, like at the very beginning, he's with somebody that has the potential to keep him safe, even if it's giving him someone else. And so ultimately, Mark kind of becomes the caretaker for his younger brother. The problem with this is that when he gets home, back to Earth, he's like, hey, Mom, he's like, oh my God,
Bases empty, one away. Top half of inning number 4.
A couple things. One, Dad sent for me, and that's why I went to that world. And she's like, wait, what was your father doing? He's like, oh, so like, you know, he more or less conquered that. It's kind of what he did. And he kind of like reiterates everything that's going on. And it kind of sucks, right? Because he's kind of like, you know, like
his bat for strike 3.
Two outs, bases empty.
Here's Alex Bregman.
That kind of stuff. So, you know, obviously he's trying to turn over a new leaf.
Puts it in the air out towards left center.
Honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves,
Pat makes the grab, and
like, yeah, he said he misses. Right? And that would go a long way towards making him feel better. There is such a thing as being honest to a fault. It's one of those instances where it's like, no, he didn't say anything about it. Like, you tell an alcoholic woman who listens to her husband that he didn't say anything about it. And so she's like, I need it. And
And a
that's kind of the
pitch.
crazy thing is because at that point, Mark comes on even
And
more.
that's a
And
little
he's
bit
like,
high.
we need to talk
Ball
about
one.
like what you talk about my brother, right? And that's when she learns not only did he go to a different world and not say
And
anything
that
about her,
skips
anything,
into
he
their.
doesn't concede the miss her at all. But then he popped out another kick, man. So like literally just gone
And he'll
like
step
that,
off
right?
and
And it's
take the signs
punching.
again.
But the cool thing about this is
The
that what she's
2-1.
going to kind of grasp the reality situation that she's in. Right, and she's kind of
Way
like, oh,
out
you
front
know,
for
like
strike
it's
2.
weird that my son was summoned to a different world by his father who tried to come from this world like this, but also
And
that kind
down
of
on
perfect
strikes
feeling
he
about once
goes.
you get past
Looks
all
like
that
he's
stuff,
picked
it's
up
just kind
right
of
where
like,
he left off.
right? And so
And
it's,
now it's
there's
Max
one thing
Muncy.
represents
He's
folks
0
forget.
for
I think
1.
it's probably the best way to say it, right? But whenever you're dealing with a person struggling with alcoholism, that
That first
oftentimes
offering
it's
is
not
fouled
enough to
off.
simply just pull themselves up,
One
right? You
down,
can't really
base is
pull
empty.
yourself up on your bootstraps when it comes to alcoholism.
Down and
You
in.
can,
Moved
right?
his
It's
feet.
possible, but it's much easier if you have a reason to not want to be an alcoholic anymore. And the reality is,
Misses
even
off the
if
plate.
she can't
2-1.
necessarily be with Nolan, at the very least, this son that like needs to be taken care of because Nolan's
Popped up
currently
to the left
incarcerated.
into
Kind of
foul
gives her a
ground.
second chance, right? Gives her a kind of second win, right? Somebody else to care for besides herself. And I know
Grandal
it seems a little
hauls it
strange
in,
and it
and
seems a
there's
little
2
odd,
away.
but in a lot of ways, it really
Byron
helps her, right? Because
Buxton
it's kind of like
digs in
taking
now.
care of the
3
legacy
for
of
1
her
so
cousin
far.
is as close as you can get to Nolan. Even if she's struggling with it, because a time will come when they will meet again, and it will not go the way you think it does. It's one of the coolest moments in the whole conference. It's one of the
And
coolest
the
moments in
first
the whole
pitch
conference. But
misses
you
for
also
ball
end up
1.
having Mark show back up again. Now, the crazy thing about this is that when he finally shows up again, initially he kind of gave her like a quick little
Check
explanation, but
swing.
not a
Did
whole
he
lot,
go?
right? He
Yes,
didn't
he
really a
did.
whole lot. It was kind of like one of those, you gotta trust me, everything will be okay, I'll be back, that kind of situation. And the biggest
That's hard
issue
hit on the
is that he
line.
was gone 2 months.
Junior
She initially
brings it
thought he was
in
going
for the third
to be
out.
gone for a much shorter amount of time. But ultimately, Mark told her,
And
like,
we're
I
back.
don't know
Ready
exactly how
now for the
long I'm going to
fifth
be
inning.
gone for.
Now
And
it's the
so
right
in this
fielder,
situation,
Ken
Amber
Griffey
is as
Jr.
much a victim of her own expectation as she is the fact that
And
Mark
that's
is a
counted
superhero and
away.
is oftentimes kind of flaky. And so the result of it is that she's kind of like, you were gone for 2 months, man. You know, and it really kind of sits her on a big issue because what this did is it almost kind of sent her into an existential crisis on the relationship. If Mark is
1-1.
going to be a superhero and Mark is going to be engaged in superhero antics,
Right through there
superhero
for a strike.
activities, but at the same time he's going to be going on missions where without any real definitive end game, you know, in terms of when he's going to be out, is that something she could live with? Is
Hard
that something
hit
she can
right
cope with?
side.
And that's a question she kind of has to ask herself,
Albies
right?
over to
If my
first
man's
in
going to be gone
time.
for 2 or 3
1
months at a
away
time,
here in
or
the fifth.
possibly even years, if we're
Here's
really being
Mike
honest with
Trout.
ourselves, no definitive end game on when he might return. Can I really put my
And that one
life and
fouled
my
off.
romantic happiness
Base
on
is empty,
hold
1
in the hope that
away,
he will
and we're
come
in the
back?
top of the
There are
fifth.
people who would say yes, right? Like at this point, like if two
Waiting
guys
on
are going
that
to slap the rings
fastball.
on each other's finger,
Love to see
yes,
it.
that's part of the
Power
moment,
versus
right? Like, you
power
can
right
give the
there.
answer, that's just part of it, right? You can't change your mind all of a sudden, but
And
at the
that
same
one is
time,
lifted
you
in the
can't, right?
air.
Because people change,
Santander
people grow,
racing
right? This is the
after
nature
it.
of things. And what
Pulls
was
it down, and
accepted
he
or
makes the
okayed
catch.
at the beginning of
And
things,
there's 2
or at some
away.
point along the line,
Here's
it got
Jordan
mixed up over the front.
Alvarez.
This is exceedingly important because if we're being honest, the relationship is serious. We're at that college age, right?
And
And
it's
college
fouled
age
away.
is one, either you're partying or you're finding a person that you most likely going to start settling down with at some point along
The
the line.
0-1.
While you build your career, they build their career, you kind of go and band it together, right? And if
Fought
that's
off
the case,
foul.
then Amber's most likely looking to the future. She's not looking at this as like a fling. She's
2
looking at
down,
this like,
nobody
hey, this
on.
could be something serious, right? I mean, sure, I'm not in a position right
Not
now where
close
I
with
want to
that
marry the
one.
guy, but
Ball
like,
and
if the
2 to
relationship
count.
becomes serious enough, then maybe we can consider that. If nothing else, it's a fleeting thought in the back of her head. And if the idea of having agreed on it is a fleeting thought, then if she's ever considering more of a serious life, that becomes a thought as
Righty
well. Can you
delivers.
really bank on a person who's going to vanish for
Hits
months
and
and months at a
misses.
time
It's a
without giving you
strikeout.
real, you know, any real definitive answer because they
Ready
don't
to
even
go
know
for the
anything,
last half of
right?
the
They don't
inning.
even
And
buy
now
it.
the first
And
baseman,
ultimately, Amber
Tony
has
Clark.
to deal with that. Like, look, I don't know how I
McCullers
feel.
back to
I don't know if
work.
I'm okay with it. I don't agree
Swings
with it.
through
I'm not
that
really
one
sure
out in
if I
front
can
that
handle it.
time.
So
Well,
at
these
the age, she's
guys,
kind
they're
of like,
not going to
oh,
be
I'll
happy
figure
with
it
the
out, right?
at-bats
But at
they've
the
been having
moment,
so
the
far.
relationship's on
But
the
in the back
rocks, right?
half
It's
of the
one of these
game,
things where
they're
it's kind
still
of serious.
searching for a
Whether or
base
not the
runner. He's
relationship
been
survives,
great out
it's
there on the
dependent
mound,
on
no
whether or
doubt.
not this is
But it's
something
also
she
been
can
a
handle.
disappointing performance at the plate to this point.
What's going on,
And
guys?
as we
This is
get
Rob.
deeper,
And
it's
fastball
not going to
pitch.
get any
Yes, you are.
easier.
Okay,
These
cool.
at-bats are
So
going to
here's
feel
the thing,
more and
right?
more
Like, if you guys
desperate
remember last
with
the other
every
day,
out
we
that
got
has to go
Patty
by.
Mark, who basically brought a step running back. I'll have to play this one
Correa
for
over to
one system.
first.
But
And the
Mark brought
leadoff
a
hitter
step running back.
retired in the fifth.
Right, so basically the sign
Ozzie
off
Albies up
on
to
a
the
different
plate.
planet, right? And
Grandal
what it
looking
does
three
is it kind of
pitches
gets away
last
from the idea of
time.
like
Let's
hard
see if he
stop
can be a
waiting,
little more
right? Now,
aggressive right
initially,
here.
Mark brought him back. And
And a
they're
swing
kind
and
of
a
shocked for
miss.
Mark Smart. Like, just think about the one. Like, everything seemingly happened so fast that he never really had a chance to throw. We talked about that
0-2
last
now
week.
as he
That
swings
seems to
through
be
it.
that Mark
The
Smart.
offense needs to
They
start
got
showing some
super
fight against this starter. He's doing his thing out there. They're going to have to push back at some point and make him work a little bit
For us
harder.
regular people, we all have our own working methods. Some of us work out, some of us maybe.
Chases the
A lot of it
changeup
is
in the
end up
dirt.
kind of jumping into
Catcher has it, fires
less
to
in-depth
first.
baseball.
Gets the
And
out,
out
2
of
down
there's
after
a
the
really
strikeout.
easy thing to fall into. It's
Francisco
kind of
Lindor
always
comes up to the plate. Went
like,
down
it
on
doesn't make
strikes
sense
his
to do
first
it on
time
the
through.
third. Because it's very easy to kind of numb the pain, like just sort of succumb to that drunken stupor, and you just don't feel anything. Like, you don't feel any more sadness, you don't really feel
And
any
there's
more
a
remorse.
strike.
You just kind of
80% of his
don't
first
feel a
pitches are
whole lot, and the
strikes.
result
When
is
you're
that it
doing
basically
that,
goes
you
away.
could have
And
a
that
really
really, I
good
think,
day
is
out
a
there in the
testament
mound.
more to what Deborah was going through than anything else. Because
2
seemingly,
down, nobody
I have
on.
more
Last
protection
half of
down.
inning
Like
number
that,
5.
right? And the week and a half, your husband turns out to be a more forgiving
Shortstop
planet
takes the
who
ball.
openly admits that he never really cared about you at all. Right? Your son is this walking, talking reminder of the man that you love.
Swing and a
It's
miss
your
and a
boss,
changeup
right?
in the dirt.
That's kind
Grandal
of
on
the
to
thing. And
first.
so for
That completes the
I
strikeout
don't know
inning
what kid
over.
to take care of here. It's a great thing for him because they give him a chance to see
New
him
inning getting
stuff.
started.
So
Here's
it's like
Carlos
over.
Correa.
That's what gives him something to look for
And he
beyond himself. Right? A
deals.
chance to look at something and say, like, I can work for this thing. Right?
That
I can
first
build
offering
on
is
the stick.
fouled
I
off.
can raise
You
a
ever caught a
child
foul
into
ball
somebody's
as a
collective.
fan?
And
Only as a
legitimately
broadcaster,
hold
not
on
as a
to a
fan.
portion of her
You?
husband. It kind of
Been
looks
to many
like she
games as a
loves
fan.
something. So there, he's not really doing all the mastermind. Not a whole lot doing here. He's got a kind
Kicks
of a
and
dick, and he does
deals.
exactly what a man with the name mastermind can do. He controls the minds of other people. There's only been
And he
involved
gets by
in
him.
the guarding and chasing the other hand on him, and that's more or less it. But then he basically ended up jumping to Mark Lee with him. But the whole conversation with Andrew is kind of this funny moment, right?
All
Because
over
Mark
that
kind
one
of
right
thinks
there.
he kind of gets caught
Absolutely
up in him.
punished
Right?
that
Not
pitch.
really caught up in
Wasn't
himself.
fooled in the
Mark's pretty caught up
slightest.
in being a
189
person
off the
who's full
bat.
of arrogant
That
ego.
means you put
But
a
it
pretty
was
good
funny
swing on
thing
it.
when he's kind of like, okay,
Foul
so she's
ball
like,
there.
you know, what's, you look pretty hard. He said, yeah,
Nobody
well,
out.
that
Runner at
today,
first.
I've got like a big test in an hour. He goes, okay, well, you're going to
And
this
that
class
one's
and go
fouled
to
off.
Africa. And he's like, what did I just say? I got a test in an hour now. Mark doesn't listen. But it's
Foul
just not
ball still
Africa. It's
0-2.
Africa. Like how often do you get to go to Africa? Yeah. Here's one of the things that I want to draw your attention to, because we actually kind of skipped over
Righty
this
to the
completely
plate.
because it's done. But here's one of the things I want to draw your
And
attention
there's a
to. If you
rocket
guys
into the
remember,
outfield.
probably from the TV show, so you know the comics, which I don't know how you wouldn't
Throw
know these
back in
comics. But
quickly.
in the
First
TV
and
show, you
second
had that
now with
mission one.
nobody
So
out.
you had those
2
weirdo
consecutive
aliens that
base
had the
hits for these
capability of
guys
like
here.
taking
They
over
just
and
did a
conquering
really nice
whole worlds
approach
by
to
just
shoot that line
things
drive
like
to the
that, right?
opposite
So one
field.
of the
There's a
astronauts,
lot
a
of
guy by
hard
the name
work
of
and
Russ
discipline that
Livingston,
goes
and
into it.
basically a
Now
guy
this
who's
ball
got
is
like,
well
right? That
hit.
guy you saw
This
with like
one's got
the
a
dark eyes,
chance.
he was like, he looks like he would have like the kind of laugh of
Just
Daniel Thomas, but he
missed
had
it.
a handlebar mustache with a belt, like, yeah. That kind
Man,
of
I
thing. Well,
love
one of
that
the
route. The
Martians
ball
actually
was
made it back
smoked.
to
He
Earth,
knew he
right?
had to
So the
get
result
back
of
to the
this
track
is that
right
you do kind
away.
of get a
Turned
little
his
bit
back
of
on the
discussion
infield,
there.
got
But
to
at
the
some point,
spot,
you
turned
realize it's
around,
like,
and made a
look at the
nice
power he
catch.
has, the ability to shapeshift because he's more or less a invincible version of Martian Manhunter. That he can
Muncy
turn
makes
become
the
Superman.
grab for the
And so
second
that kind
out.
of gives you this answer
And
of what
Tatis
happened with
Jr. to
this
hit
alien
here.
that ended up
Goes
taking
0
on
for
the
2 with a
form
pair of
of Russ
strikeouts.
Livingston and showing up on Earth. Now, there are caveats
Hard
to this, right?
hit.
There are
Right
limited
at him
explanations
in
for
left.
that. He can't necessarily hold the position for
And
an
welcome back
exceedingly
to the
long amount of
ballpark.
time. And
In
even
Happ
then,
up to
like once
hit.
he came on Earth, he still is concerned about his race back on Mars. Now, when I say he's concerned about his people, it's more like just the rebels, right? Because like in the
The
end, he's kind of like,
pitch.
I mean, I hated our mom, right? Our mom was like super corrupt. I'm kind of
And
glad
that
that I
one
hate something.
wrapped foul.
I
Cubs
like
made Ian
because
Happ a
it's kind of
first-round pick
interesting
in
about how these seasons are unfold.
2015 and
Sometimes we
played at the
kind of get
University of
wrong for the better,
Cincinnati
and
as
it
an
kind of goes
infielder.
hard to say
Played a
that,
little
right?
bit
I
of
think stuff that we
outfield,
had
but
in his
a guy in
previous statement,
2022. What a
script,
year,
and so on and
Chris.
so
Both
forth.
an
But when you get
all-star
to the
and a
transition
gold
to
glover.
Africa, it's kind of this funny moment, right? Because Mark was basically invited here by Pete, that Mark's mom had given him, Pete's number when she was out in Africa, and then he called her, and she was like, yeah, come hang out. So Mark brings Amber. Here's the thing, gentlemen, fellas, guys out there who are very good at picking up
Pitch
on cues,
misses,
but
and
one
the
of those
count 1-2.
frustrating things
Yeah,
that
and
really
wins that gold
comes to
glove
the
as a
late
left
program,
fielder,
to
and
the
also
women's
a guy that
program,
was a
is
pretty
that
good
they
center
never
fielder
really
as
tell
well.
you
But
what they're doing.
one of the
But
things for
sometimes they
him,
do. But it's usually
Tatis
wrong.
handles
So
that
when you
chance
get
to
probably here, you
first,
get to
and
behind,
that's
kind of
one
go
out as they get the
but
leadoff
sometimes
hitter in
some
the
things
sixth.
are, which is about
Now here's
kind of
Giancarlo
things too.
Stanton.
But this is one of those times, man, where a girl that you know
There's a
is
swing and a miss.
in another part of the world and saying, hey, come hang out. You do one of two things, right? Either you're with me, like you're Mark, and you're with a girl, and you say, look, I love you, but I can't. I'm with a girl right now, so let's think of this right now.
Kicks and
Or if you're
fires.
single, you're like, let's go, man.
Comes up empty as he chases that one in the dirt. And there's two gone following the strikeout.
That just seems like
2 outs, bases empty. Stepping in the long ball threat, Yasmani Grandal. Bell fouled off. Grandal, 30 years old now, and he was born in Cuba.
All the characters that exist out there.
And on the line, and that's a base hit. And that ends the perfect game bid.
I think you probably just said and become a popular industry, and then the machine is covering stars.
Just like that, the perfect game bid is no ball. Nice job of driving that pitch.
So Josh Hader gets the call to the mound.
Still a lot of game left, and this game could go either way. So this is a big opportunity for him to get some important outs and try to help carry this lead into the later innings.
And there's a foul ball. The pitch. In the dirt, but kept close. And it's a ball and a strike as the runner holds. Grandal, the runner at first with 2 gone. He caught it behind his back. And that's a great play for the out.
But Mark also does like a little bit of catching up with it, right? Because like this is one of
Back here in Houston, all set for the start of the inning. Down the third baseman, Alex Bregman.
What? What is going on here? The whole time, like, he kind of caught up with it, maybe a few things discussed. And then, as he was talking, he realized Andrew's over.
And the pitch.
There's
a swing and a drive. That's
when it comes to the various parts of the mix.
And it one-hops the wall.
People who are superheroes, it's kind of a higher
Into second easily with a leadoff
not so
double.
far as how they conduct themselves, right? I mean, you don't have much, flying around, that's not really
And now the right fielder, Ken Griffey Jr. He's already homered here in this one. So a change being made out at second. Running in as a pinch runner, Ricky Henderson. Here's the pitch. Runner breaks for third. Ball outside. Throw. Tag. Grandal with a quick release. Next one misses. Ball 2. Bases empty, 1 away. Here in the top half of inning number 7. And a swing and a miss there.
That was pretty close right there.
Swing and a miss at 1 above the zone.
I think he was a little excited there. Saw the fastball, but he didn't step flat at the end of that one. He's going to have to tighten it back up. He wants to have a better bat.
Now 2 outs, bases empty. And now Mike Trout. Chase that time. Other thing in this part, I mean, he can sneeze one with a left field wall into those Crawford box seats.
Talking to her about how her and her kind of got into a few fights here and there, and that's part of the
Back on that fastball. Bringing the cheese now.
You get into disagreements, right? Because what's
Swing, throw it in, that's
people who don't know anything about each other, tying them together and saying, now make it work, basically what it is. So of course you're going to have some disagreements and so on and so forth. But the biggest issue that Amber
Back here in Houston, here's Max Muncy, that funky Muncy.
And live and turn home, and she'll just be there with open arms. Then you have to actually kind of put her life on hold to a degree, insofar as like what it means to have us in other because of the superhero experience. You don't know that's something that she can go for. I agree. Is far more of a compatible person for Mark than Amber did, at least on that touch. And Mark really counted that. And you say,
And on the run there as he swings through it.
But one thing you know about relationships, that 1% makes
Swing and a miss, nice changeup.
Pitching has been pretty dominant in this one, but you got to be careful not working with too big a lead. They could get right back in this ballgame if you're not careful.
And now the center fielder, Byron Buxton. Swing and a miss, nice changeup.
And he really sells the changeup with that arm action.
Because you're not having Mark, he kind of gets a phone call here. Well, he and Adam and Amber were
One down, bases empty.
Mark felt like she was
Swing
kind of
and
like,
a miss, the velocity blasted it right past him. And next will be the cleanup hitter, Tony Clark. First offering is fouled off.
But it's like immediately takes off. When he gets back home, he's never extra
That
left.
one away inside.
I haven't really talked about it. Right? And you just kind of come and go there, and the previous story of the
Big swing and a miss.
I want to mess with the story. You kind of have this
And into the ball.
about what happened to Hockey Man after you left Earth, and then suddenly sidetracked at extreme levy. But the
Chase
other
that
line is
time.
that at a previous point in time, extreme levy is actually come in contact with an alternate reality.
Now towards left center field, that's Will Struck. Crowd rages back.
And so what do you do?
That'll make it out of here. And they close the gap. It's 3-2.
The problem is that when this injury showed up,
Ozzie
it was
down
to
the plate.
register $10,000 from other injuries, and then Mark actually
Backed
hurt
off the plate
Hill
that
right
time.
in the and so Lindstrom threw the harness on his head, and it put him in kind of feedback, where basically turned him into the version of himself that he's
Oh,
now.
that
But
one
Lindstrom
almost
is
gets him
a
again.
powerful
Hader,
hitter. It's
maybe
one
a
of these
little
things
less
where
aggressive on the
Mark
mound right now after that home run, Chris.
Yeah, it seems that way. You know, pitchers, they can come out and feel good, but then all of a sudden get touched up a little bit, and they start trying to throw instead of pitch. They're not trusting their stuff.
The 3-1. 3-1, and he couldn't come up with it.
Maybe a little loss of focus on the mound right there. Pretty much gifted him first base with a pass.
Righty reliever out of the pen, Robert Suarez.
These are the spots relievers really make a name for themselves late and close. There's not much margin for error, but at the same time, there's a reason they're put in these situations.
And then like something happened, and then now I'm like this. Like so
With
invincible
the
cause.
tying run
With
at the
Mark
plate
Lewinsky
near the
happened,
bottom of the
over the
7th.
portal, and then Steve
Moore
Mark
swings through that
where
one.
dinosaurs have more or less become sentient, and they can be caught. And he gets
Got him swinging.
and then comes back to the portal again, and then goes to attack him yet again, and then like another portal opened up, and he ends up in the Marvel Universe, and he actually carries Dr. Octopus, and
Back
like
here at
crashes
Minute
into
Maid
a
Park.
building.
And now the DH, Yordan
And then
Alvarez.
but like for one page, he needs Dr. Octopus, right? So then he comes back to the portal again, and he's fine. But the weapon of Spider-Man following, right? So it's the title, Invincible meets Spider-Man for like 2 seconds. Like it's kind of that, but it's small little stuff like this. One thing that I do want
As
to
the
point out
lefty
here
gets to
is
work.
concept of like extra dimensions. Something that I want you guys to keep in the back of your head. But it's kind of this cat and mouse game, right? Mark is fighting out of a
Makes the
not
grab,
fighting out of
won't go
logic.
Boy, that was a
That's kind of
hanging,
lesson that his
breaking
dad
run
was
right
trying to
there. I
teach
think
him.
he tried to
You
do a
cannot
little
fight
bit too
emotionally.
much. Sometimes
You
those
have
eyes
to
can
fight
get really
logically.
big. I think his swing broke down as well, and that's what caused him to pop it
That's one
up.
of the things that ancient
High fly ball near the pole. That one is foul. Chapman, known as a guy with pretty lights out type stuff, racks up the strikeouts, but the command at times can elude him.
The more that the angrier the
Chases the
the more
fastball
reckless,
up the
the more
ladder,
reckless
struck
the
him
less
out.
hits. And so if any team is just
Ryan
going to play
Howard
game,
will hit
it's in
next.
something
1 for 2.
what are the zombies look like, right? And like everybody in that world
Swing
gets
and a
to
miss.
accept the
Strike
and it
one.
happens
And
like
a
that
manager
over
in
and
a
over
situation
and over
like this
again. Every
type
time
of
he goes
pitcher
to
has to stay
attack,
alert and ready. He's got to make sure he's watching from pitch to pitch, hitter to hitter, to quickly get another
he
read.
comes across
Ah, threw it
Batman,
by
like
him.
literally, he's like, I mean, you dress like a bat
And
and
we're
you're
back.
getting
Got
squat.
the
Like,
left
isn't
fielder
that kind of
in
crazy?
Happ.
Isn't it amazing to dress the bat and call yourself Batman? Like, kind of amazing thing. And so it's one of these sort
The
of weird
pitch
things where, like, he finally just kind of
to the
sits
right
and waits,
side.
and then
He
eventually the
gets
floor
there with
opens
the
up, and
slide.
shakes his
Throw
head
to
to him, and
first.
he immediately
One
goes to
gone to the
the
bottom of the
goes
8th.
to attack the revenue. And
And here is Giancarlo Stanton. Lots of pop at the plate. Outfield playing back almost on the warning track.
Like literally trying throughout the multi. It's basically the counting. They've done the universe, and then the fights just continue until it gets
Aroldis
to a point
Chapman
where Mark
gets the
basically
call
gets
from
the
the
other
pen.
hand and gets so
Well,
mad
best
that he starts
relievers
to
love the
understand that he
opportunity
actually
to come in and protect the
this is
tight
probably
lead
the first
late in
big
the ball
moment
game.
when
Some
you
of them are
that
just
Mark
wired
is
different,
talking
so
to the
we'll
light
see what
and
he's got here.
Swings through that.
kind of thinks about
Lefty continues to work, but the closer getting loose in the bullpen.
and so in that moment,
And he can't come up with it.
sensation. It's like, oh my God,
But he
I'm
wins
like
the
my dad.
foot
I'm
race to
basically
first.
become my dad.
Good
Like,
job of
this
knowing
the
how
person
much
that
time
I'm
he
with.
had there.
And so what ended up happening
Here's
is
the
that portal
catcher,
opens up, and
Yasmani
essentially it's
Grandal.
right into the globe. And
Swings through
popping
that
out, but
one.
it's a future
0-1.
version of a kid.
2 down, nobody on. Here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Swings through that
Instead,
one.
what had
Looking very
happened is
settled
that
on the mound here in the eighth. One more out, they'll probably hand it off to their
that
closer.
Martin just
And down on
so as
strikes.
far as he's
And it's a
concerned,
3-up,
been
3 down
losing no
inning.
time at all, right? Within like a few hours, like all this stuff's gone on. For these starting to the globe, they've been coming for Martin.
All set to start the 9th in this one. Stepping in, George Springer.
And it was finally able to work, right? Like, we were finally able to stop. So one of these things where Adam Eagles running the mark and says, okay, here's what we have to do. Go talk to the young people. And finally,
And here it comes. Slapped foul. Grandal, in his 4th year, he features a sinker, a slider, a cutter, and he works in a four-seamer. The 0-2. Swings through that one, it's a strikeout. Here's the catcher to hit, Yasmani Grandal.
whether you love it or not, it doesn't matter. Let's publish something. And so that's kind of the
He
thing.
swings and hits a fly ball center field. Buxton has a beat on it. 2 down.
Hey, man, 4 pitches, 2 outs. That is an excellent pace.
Here's the second baseman, Fernando Tatis Jr.
At least not now.
Landing on that fastball.
I guess if you work that hard, you can get away with locations like that right down the middle. But I still think it's a dangerous pitch. Don't want to do it again.
Swings and misses. And
The response is Ollie. Right, like I'm gonna name this kid Ollie.
And
It's
welcome
like
back to the
Like Mark's
ballpark.
mom
Now
is
it's the
effectively
switch hitting
adopting
outfielder,
the stuff
Anthony
of the Mark and son
Santander.
of
They go with one of their more experienced arms in this spot,
So
Billy
following this,
Wagner.
what we do is
I can't
we
imagine
talk to
any
Mark
save is an
Stevens,
easy one.
and
You're holding a
that
small
guy
lead on the
knows that
scoreboard,
but
and you know those hitters are going to give you the best advance they can. So it's always high stress. Let's see what he's got here to try and close it out.
And that one hammered. A massive home run. It's 3-2. Now the number 2 hitter, Christopher Morel. And a swing and a miss.
Always exciting to see a leader run in an inning. Kind of gets the offense fired up, and you start to expect a big inning.
And a swing and a miss. Down on strikes. And that's the first out. Nice recovery after giving up the homer. Buxton swings through it for strike 1. Trying to close out a 1-run lead. We're in the last half of the 9th inning.
And that's in the dirt.
Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout. Tony Clark getting ready to hit. Swing and a miss. That's strike 1.
Just amazing to me how the closers and back-end relievers just throw absolute gas these days. I never had a chance.
Swing and a miss, and he chases that one in the dirt. Gets to it on first. In-time ball game, and the strikeout ends it.
Well, he does a nice job of coming in and getting the save. He made a mistake with the pitch, gave up the solo home run, but he maintained his focus and pushed through to the finish line.
A 3-2 final score in this one. Chris Singleton and our entire crew, I'm John Shelby saying so long.
Well, probably a science fiction writer when he first got. And he put a little bit, and he did a little bit fun. But after that, there's all this basically failure, right? So he just started fighting like applicants and everything like that. And so ultimately, he draw into the park. And Mark's like looking at him and saying, like, I mean, like, what do you mean? Take it here, like Pink Tribe, Planet Red, right? This one, the man with the invincible gun. And so he kind of starts going through it and reading. And as Mark begins to read it, he begins to realize his father's books, right? And in the last video, when his dad said, find my books and read my books, it wasn't because he just wanted his son to know that he tried to write science fiction at some point. He's actually going through, and Mark realizes he's writing himself. That literally he's just writing his own stories about tracking down individuals and hunting people who were basically enemies of the Viltrumite Empire. But each one of these books deals with like an artifact, or a weapon, or a person with extraordinary skill. And that's when Mark starts to realize all these things, they're basically instructions on how to destroy the Viltrumites. It's literally up to What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and we are back with Invincible. Now, here's the thing. I am trying my best to avoid spoilers in the titles. I'm absolutely doing the best that I can to avoid spoilers. Granted, having spoilers is part of the super clickbait title scheme, but I'm avoiding it for Invincible because I don't want to ruin anything. So, this story does technically kick off with Sinclair. A lot of you guys remember him from the TV show where he was basically making killer robots out of people. The way it plays out in the comics is almost identical to the way it plays out in the show. It just happens at a different point in time, right? At this point where all the robots show up and people are being transformed and all that kind of stuff, that was the principle is you would have like the main story, and then you have like little smaller plot-led stories that kind of go and kind of take place over the course of the comic itself, right? But what we end up doing here, once it's in play with the Viltrumites in terms of strength and durability. The issue with this is that while Alan was super strong, there was nothing to indicate he was on the same level as the Viltrumites. What we're learning here is that as time progresses, specifically in the aftermath of a battle and when he heals, that Alan's strength level right now is close to that of a Viltrumite if it's not directly on par with a Viltrumite. Now, we're not really given an absolute answer here. The explanation that we're given is that they're actually doing more tests, and they're kind of exploring a little bit more to see where he's at. But by all standards of measurement, he's equal to the Viltrumites. And so while it's not necessarily a full army, it is certainly a winning move to Thaddeus than what we're given here. But essentially, he just kind of establishes that he